Have you ever wondered how powerful your thoughts truly are? This is a question that has intrigued philosophers, scientists, and thinkers throughout the ages. Today, we're going to explore this fascinating subject and delve into the intricate world of our minds. Thoughts. They are constant companions in our day-to-day lives, shaping our decisions, defining our actions, and ultimately forming the core of our identity. But what exactly are thoughts? In the simplest terms, thoughts are mental cognitions, our ideas, opinions, and beliefs about ourselves and the world around us. They are the silent conversations we have with ourselves, the narratives we construct, and the stories we tell. But here's the twist. Thoughts are not just abstract concepts floating around in our minds. They are physical entities with power and influence. They are the electric currents that course through our brain, sparking connections between neurons and creating intricate networks of communication. And the power of these thoughts is immense. They have the ability to change the very structure and function of our brain. Through a process known as neuroplasticity, our thoughts can reshape our brain, altering its circuits and pathways. This is the power of thoughts. They can create, they can destroy, and they can transform. But how do these thoughts come into being? How are they formed? And more importantly, how do they affect our brain? These are the questions that we will explore in this video. We will journey into the anatomy of the brain, delve into the formation of thoughts, and highlight the significant effects they have on our brain. So, buckle up for an exciting journey into the mind. We're about to unravel the mysteries of our thoughts, and in the process we might just discover a thing or two about ourselves. So let's embark on this journey, where we'll uncover the profound influence of our thoughts on our brain and our lives. As we delve deeper, prepare to be astounded by the power your thoughts hold over your brain. The brain, a complex organ, is the mastermind behind every thought we have. So let's take a closer look at this fascinating organ and its key players in the world of thought processes. First, we have the frontal lobe, the command center of our personality and our ability to communicate. It's like the CEO of a company, making important decisions and managing problem-solving tasks. It's also home to our motor skills, regulating actions like walking, talking, and even that tricky task of picking up a pencil. Next, we find the parietal lobe, a maestro in sensory information. It's constantly interpreting signals from our five senses, helping us understand the world around us. Imagine it as a busy traffic controller, coordinating signals from various parts of the body and making sense of it all. Then, we come to the occipital lobe, our very own inbuilt cinema screen. It processes everything we see and helps us recognize colors, shapes, and movements. It's like the director of the movie that is our visual reality, continuously editing and producing the scenes we see every day. And let's not forget the temporal lobe, the guardian of our memory and emotions. It's responsible for processing auditory information and is also involved in the formation of memories. Think of it as a librarian, meticulously cataloging every sound and experience, ready to retrieve them at a moment's notice. But the brain isn't just about these individual parts. It's about how they all work together, like a well-rehearsed orchestra. Each lobe, each region, plays its part in perfect harmony, creating the intricate symphony of our thoughts. They communicate and collaborate, shaping our perception of the world, our actions, our emotions, and ultimately, who we are. So these structures work together, creating the intricate symphony of our thoughts. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into how these thoughts are actually formed in the next scene. Thoughts are constant companions, but how are they formed in our brain? Thoughts, those elusive entities that shape our perceptions and guide our actions, are not born out of thin air. They are the result of complex physiological processes happening right within the convolutions of our brain. At the heart of these processes are neurons, the fundamental units of the brain. These specialized cells communicate with each other to give birth to what we perceive as thoughts. Imagine neurons as social butterflies, constantly chattering and exchanging information at lightning speed. The conversation among neurons happens through synapses, which are small gaps that serve as meeting points. These are like bustling cafes where neurons gather to share their stories. When a neuron has a piece of information to pass on, it releases a chemical called a neurotransmitter into the synapse. This neurotransmitter then crosses the synapse and lands on the receptors of another neuron, conveying the message. Now, thoughts are not formed from isolated neuron conversations. Instead, they emerge from the intricate web of these neuronal interactions. When certain neurons frequently interact with each other, they create a well-trodden path, a neural pathway. These pathways, etched within the labyrinth of our brain, hold the essence of our thoughts. Let's consider a simple example. When you see a red apple, the neurons in your visual cortex start chattering, passing on the information about color, shape, and texture. This information then travels through various neural pathways, reaching the neurons responsible for memory, emotion, and language. The end product of this intricate neuronal dialogue is the thought, "Ah, a juicy red apple." Neurotransmitters play a crucial role in this whole process. They are the words in the neuronal conversation, carrying the information from one neuron to another. Different neurotransmitters can convey different types of messages, adding layers of complexity to our thoughts. Thoughts are not just abstract concepts, but physical processes happening within our brains. Every thought we have is a testament to the marvel of these neuronal conversations, to the symphony of synapses, and to the power of the human brain. Now that we know how thoughts are formed, what effects do they have on our brains? This is not just a rhetorical question, but the doorway to understanding the profound influence that our thoughts wield on our brain's structure and function. You see, thoughts are more than just ephemeral wisps of consciousness. They have a tangible physical presence in our brains, and with every thought we form, we're essentially sculpting our brains. This phenomenon is known as neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is the brain's incredible ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout life. This means that our brains are not static, but dynamic, constantly changing and adapting in response to our experiences and thoughts. When we repeatedly think certain thoughts, we strengthen the neural pathways associated with those thoughts, essentially changing the structure of our brains. Imagine a path through a forest. The more you walk down that path, the more defined it becomes, and the easier it is to travel. Similarly, the more we entertain a particular thought, the stronger its neural pathway becomes, making it easier for that thought to occur again. This is why habits, both good and bad, can become so ingrained. They aren't just psychological phenomena, they are physical imprints on our brains. Now, let's touch on another fascinating aspect of how thoughts affect our brains: brain chemistry. Our thoughts, be they positive or negative, can influence the delicate balance of chemicals in our brains. For instance, positive thoughts can stimulate the production of serotonin, the feel-good neurotransmitter, whereas negative thoughts can lead to a reduction in this chemical. This can have significant implications for our mood, stress levels, and overall mental health. In essence, our thoughts are not just abstract concepts floating around in our heads. They have real physical impact, shaping our brains, influencing our behaviors, and even determining our mental health. Your thoughts are not only powerful, but they are also architects, shaping your brain. Understanding the power of our thoughts can be a game changer. In this revelatory journey, we've explored the intricate anatomy of the brain and how thoughts, those ethereal flashes of consciousness, are formed within its complex neural networks. We've witnessed the profound effects thoughts can have, sculpting the very structure of our brain, like skilled artisans chipping away at marble. Each thought, each idea, each dream or fear is not just a fleeting wisp of smoke. They are potent forces, shaping our perceptions, our actions, our lives. They can erect towering skyscrapers of ambition or carve deep valleys of despair. But remember, you hold the reins. You can harness the power of your thoughts, steer them towards positivity, towards growth. So let's not underestimate the might of our minds. Let's use our thoughts as tools of creation, not destruction. Remember, each thought you have is a stroke of the brush, painting the masterpiece that is your brain.